Back at it again with another shade of blue, sponsored by Core Outdoor Equipment. We are the Kansas City Soccer Journal. Thank you for joining us. I've got Robert Russert, David Greenwald, and Carrie Robinson here. Thad might be joining us here soon. We don't know because he's always cryptic in his messages. My name is Cody Bradley. Again, thank you for joining us. We're going to talk about the 4-1 loss for Sporting Kansas City. We're going to talk about the 2-1 loss for the Current. Carrie, rough weekend.
Yeah, it really is. I changed my name to Depressed on here instead of Offsee the Wizards.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter people were checking on you.
Yeah, it was not fun. Especially today. I think yesterday Armis's predecessor, the next person that stepped into his role, killed us because I think I was in hell earlier watching Armis.
Successor.
Yeah. Okay.
There
Yes.
you
Thank you. Look, it's 8:30. I am watching the highlights from yesterday's game, the lowlights from yesterday's game.
Lowlights. Yeah. Yep. Robert, I'm told you did a rewatch of this game. Thank you for your service on that front. Hopefully you have some notes for us on this game.
And I'd like to point out, Cody, that Thad was late to the press conference post-game yesterday. So, it's been a pattern for him. I don't know.
Wow.
It's
not like he's been doing this for 20 plus years or anything. You think he'd have that down. He went to the SKC2 game tonight because that guy just never misses games. So he is on his way back. We don't know when he's going to join. Hopefully he joins soon. So, Robert, what is something that stuck out to you from the 4-1 loss besides the Paxton Aronson just destroyed us?
Well, I tell you what, I want to talk in detail about Calvin Harris. He's got a quality we haven't had in a while, right, guys? But he's not quite that touch in the box. He's not quite, someone who's going to really consistently beat people one-on-one. But, he's something we haven't had in a while, which is nice. And he gives us that speed element. But what are your guys' thought on his performance last night? He had a lot of good moments, but a lot of moments where he could have been better, in my opinion.
He had a lot of good moments. This is the game that he was going to score if he's going to score, right? Against the old team, he had the look in his eye. You could tell he was up for it on this one. And, if that's the best version of what we get out of him, then, I'm not that excited about it. Yes, I saw what you saw. There were some good moments, Robert, but, yeah, I mean, he did have an assist, I guess, didn't he?
Yeah, it was a nice assist. David, thoughts?
David, what do you think of Calvin Harris?
He's like Gerso, but not as good.
He
does have an element.
Whoa, wait a minute. Really? What?
Hey, Gerso was good. That's not a knock. I like Gerso. Are we knocking on Gerso?
So I liked Gerso also, but let's call Gerso what he was, which was extremely fast and very wasteful with the ball in the final, with the end product, right?
Extremely wasteful.
But that's Calvin Harris. He's extremely fast, but he doesn't have the end product. I don't know that he's as complete of a player as Gerso was, but it's a similar thing.
No.
We haven't had anybody with speed, though, in so long that it's kind of almost like a breath of fresh air.
Carrie, no one was promising that Calvin Harris was a complete player and that we should expect Gerso from him. It was just a flyer. We needed a player.
Yeah. I think when you looked at that free agency list, there's only a few people that stick out on that, and I would say he probably was one, but...
Okay, so I want to talk about how there was a moment in this game. At halftime, I sent a message that we were going to win. And that was in spite of the last goal. I was still riding high off of the one goal that we scored and didn't let that fluky, crazy, ridiculous howler from Pulskamp change anything. So it was on there. I was feeling pretty good, Carrie.
Wait, David, who scored?
That name is redacted. I don't know that my mouth can form the words, but it was a well-taken goal. He did a good job.
That's all I wanted. I just wanted that throw in there.
So there was a moment, and it seemed like even the announcer on the game was kind of talking about how you could see something that Wiki was doing here. There were moments and some sequences where things started to click, and you could see something of an identity or that they knew they had a game plan. And then there was in the second half, there were in a few minutes, there were 2 fouls, both of which probably should have been yellow cards, and they both would have been second yellow cards. and Sporting should have had an advantage. And yes, David, I'm a fan of a bad team, and I'm blaming it on the refs. They were so close. They were right there, and then the refs changed everything. If they go a man up, that game is not 4-1.
Yeah, for sure. If the referee makes either of the correct calls, which would have been a second yellow, then we don't lose 4-1. Maybe we draw 2-2. Maybe we lose 2-1.
Maybe we lose 2-1 or 3-1.
But those were objectively yellow cards. I mean, like those were bad no calls.
The guy that took out Jake, that's the epitome of a yellow card. Like, I don't know what that guy was doing.
So let's take the comment statement they had last week about asking that referee to step down. And let's send them the exact same letter. Just put this ref's name in place of the last one.
Does anybody know his name? Because it's a fun one to say.
Yeah. Go ahead, David. I want to hear you.
Foitis Bazakos.
Bazakos, always loved saying that name. Hated having him ref our games. One of those guys I just never liked seeing. Robert, you sound very quiet. You were loud at the start. Now you're very quiet. I'm producing live on the air.
Okay, I haven't
Turn your
changed
volume
anything.
up.
Apologies. Maybe I have David's old microphone. I don't know. Or cord.
But Robert, are we being too much of homers that we're looking at the refs in this game that they lost by 3 goals?
Well, Cody, I'm the one that put Rapid's red card ? In the rundown. So,
I went the wrong guy then.
I agree with you guys totally. They should have been red cards, but I think I'm more along the line of David's thought of even if those had been called and we had been a man up, I'm not quite sure it would have turned out as a win for us. It still might have been a 2-1 loss because our underlying numbers are just bad, and Colorado's counterattack was pretty intense.
The number of people playing in front of Pulskamp wouldn't have changed some of those mistakes.
Good point. Yes, sir.
I mean,
let's let Paxton Harrison just run straight down the middle of the gut of the field and just not even pay attention to him. Let's just do that.
Oh, jeez.
That one at halftime, right before halftime, that was really, really, really bad from Pulskamp. We have seen this. We've known that he's capable of those. And amidst that, over the years, I think we've seen some progression, and we were just waiting for the time that goes away. And he's been playing for years now, Robert, and that stuff is still there. No one has any amount of confidence that that's not going to happen. I think as a Sporting fan, that's in the cards, and that might happen at some point. How long do we go? Is he on a leash this year in the middle of a rebuild? He was once kind of the golden boy and the only one we had, so you just roll with him. I don't know. I don't know, man. Where do you stand on the Big Bear? Because that game really took me out. I'm not going to lie.
Well, I would probably give him a few more matches. It's just the consistency, right? He's got to be solid consistently. That, what was it, third goal that he got his hands on, he should have been able to grab and hold. Yeah. And then the second goal, was he surprised by that? And should we be impressed that he tried to go for a phantom foul and plead his case, and even though there was no contact at all?
He's a flopper.
I don't think he's good enough to even ask for that.
Yeah,
no.
Right. You got to have some quality, right, Carrie? If you're going to get that call.
Yeah. The first goal, I think, can fairly be blamed on Bartlett.
Yes.
Right? Bartlett loses track of his man. I don't know what Bartlett was doing, but there's something to be said for the fact that the keeper is supposed to be organizing the back line. He's supposed to be communicating. And at what point, is John shouting at Bartlett, hey, track a runner, right?
Well,
or whatever your language is. But I don't know that John is effectively organizing his back line. The second goal is a howler. The third goal was a cross that he didn't claim.
Yeah.
That he should have.
Yes.
Right. As good as last week was for him, this week was equally as bad. And John is a good kind of instinctual shot stopper, like a reflex shot stopper, but he does not distribute well. He doesn't seem to be able to organize the back line very well. And he's good for a couple howlers a year. And at a certain point, you talk about keepers being young, and it's a position where you mature later than other positions on the field. But how long has he been playing? I mean, he's had
it's a long time now.
He's been getting minutes for a while now. And I don't know that he's taken that big step forward.
David, if he's not good at organizing the back line, what is he yelling about the whole time? I know it's a thing keepers do, and we just allow them to yell and scream vitriol and like they're the father of everyone on the back line. He is yelling and screaming the whole time. If he's not organizing them, I don't know what they're doing. But on that first goal, he is not to blame in any way on what Bartlett was doing. Bartlett was tracking that guy. For whatever reason, I started watching him that whole way down the field, and he was tracking him. He knew, and he was sprinting a certain speed on the way back. And then right when the time came that he needed to still be there, he just pulled up and kind of started to jog, and then the ball went right to the guy that he stopped tracking. So Pulskamp yelling at tracking the guy wouldn't have done anything because he knew that he was supposed to be doing it. He then just stopped. Thad Bell, thank you for joining. Welcome. How was SKC2?
They were losing 1-0 when I left.
Oh, they were losing. I thought that goal was our goal on FootMob. I misread that notification.
It never is.
Not for SKC2, it's not.
Well, Thad, thank you for joining. We're talking about John Pulskamp. We don't have really many defenders of him here at the moment. What are your thoughts on the Big Bear? Actually, Carrie, was the Big Dick John chant going? I hope not. After that performance, I imagine it was not a Big Dick John chant.
I think there was one Big Dick John chant going at the very end.
All right.
I do want everyone to know I did not stand for that.
The fans are still there in support, kind of. We did hear some boos. Anyway, Thad, what do you think? What do you think of Pulskamp right now?
I think he made a couple of good saves in the night, right? Didn't he?
Don't look at me. You shouldn't look at me on that one.
I think they were on the opposite end from where I was at. But no, it wasn't his best night.
Did you see the second goal they scored? I mean, that's a concerning play that we've seen from him for years. Everyone knows he's capable of that. David just said he's capable of a few howlers a season. I would say he's capable of a nervy, shaky moment like that every game, whether it turns into a goal or not. He has those moments where I'm like, what is he doing?
Yeah, I can't argue that now. I mean, I think he can be a decent keeper, but again, the team is not very good. He can come up big in moments. He is not perfect. He's given up several goals this year that he should have saved. The second one last night, that was the one that was that the second one or the third one where he complained about being pushed? It was the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't pushed. I got a photo of it. He was not pushed. He should have saved it.
Okay. At what point do we start wondering if Courtkamp or
Cleveland? I would love to
Cleveland.
see Cleveland.
I almost called him Springfield. if Cleveland is any good, what do we think of them? Does he have a leash here?
He might, but I do think that they're wanting to see what he does. Because you gotta remember, everybody here is new, and they got to see how people do. Not everybody, but almost everybody. Cleveland was available because how old is he now? He hasn't played he's not played a ton of games. He's not been the answer anywhere. Shayway has stepped up and impressed heavily. Courtkamp is still really young and injured. He was like out warming up yesterday, I think it was him, but he's still injured. So no, there's not really anybody to just step in unless you do go with Cleveland.
So Cody, I think if we are in the hunt, if we're in, the top, we're going to make the playoffs, or we're in the upper echelon, yeah, he has a leash. But, Wiki is known for bringing young players along. And this is only his second season starting. We're probably not going to be a contender. Who knows? We'll see later on. But I think, again, it's development, and you're going to take your lumps.
Yep. You're going to play young guys. When Ian James is healthy, he's going to play. When Diego Borges, how do you say his name?
I've been saying the G in my head. That's a valid question, though. I hadn't considered that. Maybe it is Borges. That would be a J, right? I think that'd be a J.
David, can you answer that question for me?
I haven't heard him pronounce it.
I'm going to go with a J.
Well, he's Brazilian, so I thought you might just know.
Right.
He's not Brazilian enough.
I'm not, apparently not.
Apparently not. Anyway, Diego, how about that? The young guy, the 21-year-old, the 6'4" dude that we haven't seen do anything, but I saw him in practice 5 minutes the other day, and he was passing the ball really well for 5 minutes next to Ian James, and he made Ian James look small.
All right.
But
I'm sold.
But one thing with him is every time somebody says something, he's raw. He's got talent, he's got size, he's got this, that, but he's raw. He's still needs experience. If he goes out and plays next to Ian James, you're going to see some howlers, especially with, John back there, probably somebody else on wing that is young. They're going to make mistakes, and we don't expect Sporting to be in contention for the MLS Cup this year. I still think they can make the playoffs.
Take.
No, it's not a take. It's just we don't expect that. I expected the team to suck for the first 14 games. They are not great, but if they'd have reversed these last 2 games, you probably would have said, "Oh, okay." If they get the loss in LA and they get the win at home, you probably don't complain about it as much, right?
Okay, but would you
I do.
describe them as sucking right now, Thad? You said they're gonna suck in the first 14 games. Have they sucked so far?
Get the sounder ready, Cody.
I'm getting the social media clip ready so I can put Thad hating on the team online.
They have not played as well as they would like to. Thanks for warning me that you're going to try to ambush me. No.
yeah. Make worse content for me, please.
Considering I just was talking to a couple of Sporting people who said they were listening to the pod. But no, I didn't expect them to be great the first 14 games, okay? I've said that many times, and I expect them to get better.
Carrie, have they sucked the first 5 games?
I would not say they sucked.
Like on aggregate.
I'd say they're very bad.
Okay.
With glimpses of hope. And we're going to see that. And it sucks that in the long run, for this team to get better, we're going to have multiple games where they sucked like they did against Colorado.
Well, Carrie, all we need to do is play Eastern Conference teams because there are 5 of them below us in the Supporter Shield standings.
Or we just play LA every week. The Galaxy, though. LAFC would wreck us, but we just play the Galaxy.
Specifically the Galaxy.
But look, I'm gonna say it right now. We will make the playoffs in the 2027 sprint season. Book it.
Okay.
I will raise you and say 2026 season.
I thought that's what he was going to say there. I thought David was all of a sudden going to come at me with some optimism. No,
absolutely not. No, I don't think it's... Look, to Carrie's point, I think we're going to have some very high highs and some very low lows this year. And
what are the very high highs?
I wouldn't even say they're going to be high highs. It's going to be like we have one win every once in a while, and we're just so low on this team that it's going to feel like a high.
Medium
Last week
highs.
was a high. Last week was a high.
Yeah, a friggin'
because we
barely
haven't
win
seen a
against
win
the Galaxy.
since like September.
Against a weakened Galaxy.
Let's
be honest.
No. Hold on. Play the podcast back and think about how excited you were that it was a victory pod. That is a high.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Cody wasn't excited though.
We're gonna get medium highs, and to us they will feel higher because the highs are not very
perspective.
High.
It's all perspective.
There you go.
When we have new players who play well, those will be fun. That'll be exciting. Those will be high highs. When Capita scores a brace for the first time, we will all be very happy. And then we will get shellacked 4-0 by LA FC.
And then the next game, Borges scores a header on a corner kick, and then we're gonna think the world is changing again.
Right.
And then Shoppy will score.
Well, our theme song is, my football team's got me drinking, and when you're drinking, your highs are higher than normal, and your lows are lower than normal. So it works.
So David, in the rundown here, I'm just gonna break the fourth wall. In the rundown here, David wants me to ask, what does this team look like going forward? That's what they do on sports shows, right? That's what you'd see on a rundown on something on ESPN. Very professional. That's not really how we do things here. And David, I just want to make the point, what does things look like going forward? I think the answer to that question is we have no idea. There are key players that are still coming in. The team that is on the field still hasn't even found itself yet. So that's when I see that question. I think we have absolutely no idea, and it's going to look very different from what we've seen so far.
And that's That's the optimism I have, right? Which is, if you look at the attacking line, Decky's a star. We know that. He's a proven commodity. We know he will bag goals. We just added a new winger who, if he hits, Capita should be really good. And he's not a DP and he's not a U22. In the midfield, we have Manu. We know he's a commodity. He's good. I don't know if he's, that dynamic 10 that a lot of other teams have. He's obviously not Messi, but he is a very good player in the midfield. We have LBJ. He's good. You just winced. You were all in on LBJ last week.
I like Lasse Berg. Every time I hear LBJ, I'm not sold on the nickname LBJ. I'm still stuck on that. Doesn't
Come
sound
up
right.
with a better one.
I'm with you, Cody.
I'm really sorry. It was a very small wince. I didn't intend for that wince to make it into the show. I'm sorry. Go on.
But, there's one other midfield spot that is currently being occupied by Bartlett, and I think we all generally agree that Bartlett's not good enough. Is Jake the answer in the midfield?
No.
I think Jake would be a perfectly fine 8 in our midfield, but we'd need fullbacks. And once you get Blorian in, you'll have Blorian and Borges together and anchoring the back line. We need fullbacks, and we need a new keeper, and we need depth. But we've added 2 players. There's 2 what should be quality players on each line. Between Borges and Blorian, we haven't seen either of them play, so we don't know that they'll be good, but by the fact that we paid a lot of money for each of them. Well, not Blorian. Blorian's on a free, but you get my point.
That's all we have to go off of is,
you get my point.
How much money they spent.
LBJ and Manu were both expensive players. Decky, Capito are both expensive players. We've got guys on each line. The building blocks are there, and then you have to fill out the rest of the roster with 2 wingbacks who can start, and then also depth, quality depth, because that's what we lack.
Yeah, my apologies on saying no as soon as you said Jake Davis. He
was very quick on that, Carrie. Very quick.
Sorry.
To hate
It's a
on
quick
Jake
reaction.
Davis.
But when we get these building blocks in, I don't think Jake Davis should be starting in this team. And I think he should only be starting in this team now because we don't have anyone else.
Look at that. Somebody given an actual take without a bunch of qualifiers beforehand, Thad Bell. Carrie, I don't disagree with you. And if I would have said that, everyone would have got mad at me. No, I think we've probably talked about that enough on this show that yes, we love Jake Davis and he was a revelation when he went to outside back. But if we're talking about some of the midfields around this league and the better teams, and if we want to be one of them, Jake is on the bench on that team, I think. Right, Thad?
It all depends on who you have on your roster, man.
But that's what the roster we're saying is a good one that is at the top of a league.
With an improved roster, he should not be starting.
Yeah, if you have good enough players, he doesn't start. But I mean, you could say that about
And that
every
is
single
the
player
goal.
except Decky.
Okay, but do you have to have good enough players to make him sit on the bench in order to be one of the top teams in the league? Or can you have him as a starter and be one of the top teams?
I think you could be one of the top teams or near the top at least with him in the roster, yes. As an 8, not as an outside back. You can have, but you need a strong everywhere position, right? We've talked about this. The defense, pretty much everybody who started on defense last night should not be starting MLS games on a regular basis. They're all good enough to be on a roster. They're all good enough to start once in a while. They're all good enough to start maybe even a few games when necessary. But as a team, no. But what we haven't seen yet, because we haven't seen Justin Reynolds more than, 52 minutes or something now? He was a revelation. He looked great in that first game. He came in last night. He had speed. He looked good. We know Basong can at least play a decent outside back once those are starting. Once we got Borges healthy or fit enough, and James back, and Blorian, and we have that BBJ line. Yeah, I don't know if I like that one either, but it's probably better than LBJ.
David's trying to figure that out.
Yeah, don't go
something there.
too deep on that, David.
But last night at the post-game press conference, I asked, and Pat alluded to it, you're going to have 2 weeks with the international break. You're going to get some guys back, or they're already coming back from injury, Reynolds, Basong, etc.
Yeah.
You're going to have these new guys coming in to integrate into the team. And then I asked him, what is going to be your focus for the next 2 weeks? Of course, he never answered the question. But anyway, you got to consider that we've had 5 injuries so far, and we're in our 5th game. So that has been an impact.
Yeah, it's been an impact, and you're missing guys who, I'm not going to say they're the best outside backs in the league, but they are serviceable to make the team better. So I think the team can be a lot better.
What do you think of Wyatt Meyer, Thad?
I think he's
I don't
injured.
hate him. Oh, okay. That's why he went out. I guess I missed that.
He was carried off the field.
Yeah, he limped horribly off the field. That's right. I forgot about that.
After the game, he was on crutches in a boot, and his family was there to see him play. They hadn't seen him play for a while, so they were there last night. It was kind of sad. Yeah,
that's unfortunate. I thought he was quite okay before then.
Yeah, I think he's a really good depth for center back, and with spot starts, or maybe maybe even longer than that, as long as you have the guys around him that do. Every one of those guys could probably start for long periods of time as long as everybody else around him is better.
Okay. Thought you jumped in a little late. Any final thoughts? Anything you want to get off your chest about this game before we go to break?
Thank goodness for Shoppy.
Oh, what a goal. I haven't stood up and actually made an exclamation at a goal for this team in a long time. I was made very happy by that goal. I think I realized last year every time they scored, I was more, finally, it's about time. You better score that goal, or that we have to get one eventually. This one, it just felt good. Well taken goal. Shoppy smashed it home. David was so excited about his favorite player.
Cody, would you say it was your core moment of the game?
No. My core moment, which I did forget to jump in when we were talking about Pulskamp, my core moment of the game was after Sporting Kansas City had gotten the goal just before halftime to take all the momentum into the half, the home team, that second goal, actually right before half, that Pulskamp let in, that was the core moment of the game.
The core depression. Core sad moment.
Core confusion. Core flop.
So my core moment, did any of you see Shoppy chest bump? I don't know who it was on Colorado, but getting his face, and referee had to come over and break him up. Did you guys sketch that?
I missed this.
Yeah.
Shoppy's cutting it up.
A minute written down, but it's okay. Shoppy, he's still got that attitude. I like
50% of his value for this club is doing that kind of thing. So I need to make sure I'm aware of every time.
50%, it might be higher than that. No, again, I know Shoppy is not our perfect winger that we want playing consistently or anything, but you got to give the guy credit. He's been doing some decent stuff as a more defensive guy this last couple games. So
he's felt a little more useful this year. Yeah, in recent games, he has.
All right, so let's ask the same question we did about Jake. If we're a contending club, Cody, is Shoppy starting?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not positive he's on the bench either. I'm hoping hoping that team has a lethal person on the bench as well.
And he starts against St. Louis every time.
Right.
Only to get somebody sent off or get himself sent off.
I'm okay with that.
We'll be right back. All right. David, I've been hearing about this for years, that Antoine Griezmann has a love for America and that he wanted to come play in MLS at some point in his career. And then he just kept playing because he had too many good years left and was too good for the league. Now, Antoine Griezmann is reportedly coming to Major League Soccer to Orlando City.
And Lord, do they need the help.
They need some help, man. What do you think of this, David?
Do you guys remember when Griezmann was rumored to be coming to Kansas City?
Yeah.
I like that better.
Was that really a rumor, or was it just his love for Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah.
His love for Patrick Mahomes. Which is, I thought the whole point of why we let Mahomes buy into the ownership group was so that we could get guys like Griezmann. And it's not paying off. So, fire Mahomes?
He did fail on that front.
There's other owners to fire first.
Well, sure. No, very exciting move for the league as a whole. Griezmann's a stud. I feel like he's, if you know that he's really good, but that he's slept on by like the more casual fans. He played for Barca, didn't he? I think before, but made his bones at Atletico Madrid, which is not followed the same way that Real and Barca are. But dude's a monster. He's going to tear up the league.
35 years old. I had to look that up. I wasn't positive of that.
Do you think he sleeps on the floor? Or do you think he's like a fully grown 35-year-old?
David, you're never going to let that go.
If he had a dog...
I'm just asking.
If he was a good dog dad, he would put his very expensive mattress on the floor.
His dog would have its own room.
My core moment of this podcast every week now has been...
Oh, Lord. It is a core moment. That is true. It's at the core of what we do.
Harry was right when I did that. I shouldn't have done it. I just brought attention to it, and no one ever would have noticed. I shouldn't have done it.
I'll say something nice to you though, Cody, because I do tease you.
Okay, thank you.
You and Griezmann are the same age, right? Or you might be older.
I think I'm a little older.
Okay. Do you think or you know? You just looked up his birthday.
No, I looked up his age.
Okay. I will say, you look younger than him.
I do? What does he look like?
He's
a good looking... He also has a baby face, too.
I mean, he works outside, so I think he's got more
true.
sun damage than you do.
Oh, yeah.
Good point.
He aged a little
David.
bit, didn't he? Okay, thank you, David. Thank you. That makes me feel good. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
I'm glad that you took time off our soccer podcast to do that.
Yeah, are we going to put up a photo of him next to you so that it can be compared?
No, because he's better looking. He might look older, but he's better looking than I am. I don't want to draw that comparison. So, Orlando needs the help, got some reinforcements. Let's look around the rest of Major League Soccer. Kind of a crazy weekend. Carrie, there were 5 red cards in Major League Soccer this weekend. That's a lot, isn't it? Or did I just happen to notice?
No, that is a lot.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, you put 4 in our rundown. And I was actively watching another one happen.
Yes. What's his name? The guy for RSL got 2 yellow cards in like 3 minutes.
But it's not just MLS. It's also NWSL. Everyone's getting a red card this year. Last year, NWSL had 11 total in the entire season. In the first 2 weeks, they've had 6.
Oh, wow. What's in the water? That was not RSL. It was... Christopher McVeigh, yeah. 2 yellow cards in 3 minutes. Well done on that.
The NWSL had him beat, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Because the player got 2 yellows in a minute.
What? Oh, I didn't know that's what you were going for.
For dissent? For like a bad challenge for dissent?
Was it different altercations? Or it was like...
It was 2 different things.
She continued yelling, and then he had to give her another one.
No, there was no dissent. It was... Player starts to get by, gets pulled down by arm, pulled down, yellow card. About a minute and a half later, same exact thing, same exact foul to a different player, and they were shocked that they got a second yellow.
Which game was this? Summit?
Portland.
Wow.
Oh, that game.
Yeah.
You know that if Fuertes Pasacos was refereeing, it wouldn't have been a second yellow.
No, and there was 2 red cards in that game.
And that team that got the red cards still won by multiple goals.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, but the other team was coached by ChatGPT, Laura Harvey.
What does that mean? What does that mean? I'm out of the loop on that.
Oh, they asked her last season something about ChatGPT, and she straight up said that she started typing in like NWSL like tactics and be like, all right, if I was to play, Casey Current, like what might be the best tactic or whatever. So she started playing around with it, and she admitted to this in a press conference.
Yeah.
Can I ask something hateful?
Jeez.
Would Armis be better if he did use ChatGPT? Would it be an upgrade?
The Armas era has begun. What's bad about that is I don't think she was even asked about ChatGPT. I think she volunteered it. I think it was like she started it, and then she was asked more about it.
Read
Smart
the
person.
room.
Like,
Jeez. Wow. Okay. I'm very shocked by that. Also, around Major League Soccer, there were 2 games with 7 goals. One of those games with a red card was Charlotte FC and New York Red Bulls. Charlotte FC won 6-1 after one of those red cards. Crazy things around Major League Soccer, and there's massive disparity, David, between the East and the West.
Disparity? Discrepancy.
he
Disparity
combined those 2 words, didn't he?
He did.
I'm pretty sure that. Okay. All right. I
Disparity?
think that worked. I thought I said disparity.
Yeah. No. I mean, there's the haves and the have-nots, and the have-nots, like Philly, have a whole lot of nothing.
They have not scored a point yet.
Yeah. We are 4 points clear of Philly.
So
let's go ahead, Dad.
what I found interesting about Philly is, you know who they're coached by?
Mm-hmm.
Bradley
Chris
Carnell.
Armas? No.
He was the first coach for St. Louis City. They came out, they were really good in their first season and then dropped off the second season, and he was fired like later on. He goes to Philly, they're really good in his first season, win the Shield, drops off the second season, came and win a game. How much longer has he got? But is he like a MLS one-hit wonder per team?
Does he want to come coach us for the 2027 sprint season?
What, are you done with Wiki already?
Well, no, I just promised us a playoff appearance, and I would like to be right.
But no, Cody, looking a bit deeper in these discrepancies here, we have LAFC hasn't allowed a goal yet. We're 5 games in. We've got the top 4 teams have 4 wins, and then you've got from 19 to 30 either have 1 win or no wins. 19 to 30. That is 11 teams that only have 1 win 5 games in. Crazy.
Thad, where's the parity in MLS?
They allow teams to spend a lot of money that's not there anymore. I mean, there's still parity because of salary cap, but when you can spend $100 million a year on a Messi, no,
But
we're
then it
not doing
drops
that.
off. I was saying, but then it drops off like at Galaxy last year.
Yeah.
Any other notable things around Major League Soccer? Orlando has a negative goal differential of 12 already.
Yeah.
And that's why they're getting Griezmann.
That's why, to stop all the goals from going in.
Hey, Shallowy didn't score this week.
Just an
All
assist.
right.
He got an
Oh.
assist, yeah.
Should we start
Is
a segment we
Shallowy-
miss Shallowy?
Is Shallowy like a low-key MVP candidate? Like, we all know it'll go to Messi because Messi League Soccer, but
It's going to go
Is
to
Shallowy
Surge
gonna
this year.
but is Shallowy going to be like top 5 in voting?
I'll vote
Because
for him.
newcomer of the year has to be newcomer to the league, right? Not newcomer to a team.
That could be
Right.
Messi.
Or it could be like comeback player.
Yeah, it's usually
But I
from
don't know if he
injury,
would
but
technically qualify for that.
yeah.
Come back from the hole that is Sporting Kansas City. All right, let's take a break, and we're going to talk about the current a little more, and also some comments too. We'll be right back. All right, we talked about NWSL a little bit, but Carrie, the 2-1 loss for the current.
I'm depressed. People are asking me if I'm okay. I think I will be. But losing to Chicago is not good.
Yeah, losing to the Stars. It was a long off season. People have been kind of, at least I've gotten the feeling that everyone's kind of been bracing a little bit, hoping that things were not as bad as they were thinking it was going to be. And Carrie, is it going to be as bad as you were worried?
Okay.
Mhm.
It will be bad no matter what happens this season because they will not be able to do anything similar to what they did
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
So it will be bad. I joked earlier before goals started happening. It was just a very boring game. And I said it's going to be historically It's going to be a historic season because it will be the most boring season that they've had. And it might be offensively until Temwa gets back in a few weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say, any team with Temwa Chewing on it can't just be boring. It won't be boring for always.
Hopefully not. My God, could you imagine? Our Lord and Savior, Temwa Chewinga.
Thad, are you as depressed as Carrie?
No.
Okay. Thank you for your contribution.
Well, don't ask me yes or no questions.
Thad is very much it is what it is in terms of currents.
Every question I ask, I throw him a question. He responds like I've asked a stupid question. We're doing a podcast. The camera in front of you, the boxes you're looking at, the thing that says recording. We're doing content because people want to hear your thoughts on it.
Oh, you want my thoughts on it?
Yes,
Okay.
please. So that'll be the question. Thad, what are your thoughts? I'll just start doing that.
Well, honey,
he calls people that. You got that wasn't just like a scoff at me because he's mad at me right now. He calls people that at practice, at training. Somebody Sperry shows up. Hi, honey. He says it to the people in the front office, communication staff. It's one of his things.
That's
weird.
I just want to see them
honey.
squirm. Yeah,
She's never
they
called me that, and I don't know if that's good or bad.
That's true, sweetie. I have not.
It's a very paternal thing when you said it, though. That felt like a nice hug.
Yeah.
It felt mean when he did it to me just then.
Now, Thad, say you're proud of David.
David, I am proud of you.
Yes.
You showed up. You were on time. I wasn't.
I was early.
I mean, as many times as I've been to a podcast that you didn't show up, I'm just very proud of you. It's good.
Okay, Thad, thoughts on the current?
Am I depressed? No, because I didn't expect them to be good. Because I've been saying this since they traded Hutton, since they lost Pfeiffer, since they hired Reject from MLS. Armis is a really nice guy.
Ouch.
I cannot dislike him, right? Because every time I talk to him, he seems like a very nice guy. But I also don't think he's a great coach. And when you had the opportunity to have hired a great coach from anywhere in the world, you chose a guy very quickly to come in that hasn't coached in WSL, hasn't coached women in years, hasn't had the best track record in MLS. And you could see the one goal today was basically a Hutton-sized hole that a Chicago, a terrible team, Chicago midfielder ran through, made the pass back into the middle, and then goal. Yeah, it's not a good team right now. I mean, they beat Utah at home 2-1 after going down at first. Utah. And then they lose to Chicago. They won 5 straight against Chicago going into this game. Yeah, it's not a very good team right now. Like everybody, like I know on the Keeping Current pod, Carrie and Sperry were, they'll be top 2 still or whatever. Right now, they might be middle of the pack.
Now
Carrie?
we're all depressed.
He said he's not depressed, but it sounds like you should be based on all of your thoughts on the team.
I'm not depressed. I'm irritated. There's a
If you
difference.
listen,
Okay.
if you listen to Keeping Current last week when we won, I said, thank you, Jesse Marsh. And they said, what are you going to say whenever we lose? Thank you, Jesse Marsh.
There you go.
Okay, it's 2 games. They've won one, they've lost one.
To dog shit teams.
You don't know if they'll be dog
They
shit
didn't play
teams.
City, Carrie. Sorry.
Chicago's not good.
Probably not, but what if they are?
No, and you're right. You never know. With teams change, right? A bad team can become a good team. A good team can become a bad team. I mean, like we scoffed at Angel City, like how bad Chicago was because Angel City beat them 3-0 or 4-0, whatever it was, 4-1. But they won again by multiple goals today or yesterday. So Angel City might be actually a good team, or it's just the flukiness of how these games go. Maybe everybody's equal and they're just going to have weird games.
And that doesn't make sense. Okay, here's the thing. You can only have one good team. It's either a good NWSL team or a good MLS team. You cannot have both. And LAFC and Angel City, if this is true, this is not fair.
Good ownership group. They have a good ownership group. But
Angel
we have a
City
common
questionable.
denominator, which is Pat, and we're not winning with either team. So does Pat need to go? Title of the podcast: Does Patrick Mahomes need to go?
Mahomes is out.
Can he go
Now we're
coach
getting
some
those
other city? That's right. But no, I mean, look, we know the team is going to be worse than last year's team, right? It'll be almost impossible to even match that level again. We know that they're going to be worse, but last year we set a record for points. We had an amazing season, and I love that because I would rather watch, many months of good soccer and then be disappointed in the playoffs than, watch us limp into the playoffs and go on a run. But who won the title last year? The 8th seed, Gotham.
I like this. Keep going, David. I like this.
Is this current team worse than last year? Obviously, yes. Could they still make the playoffs as a mid-pack team and then do damage in the playoffs because we have Tim Chawinga and nobody else does? Yes! Is this not? What if this is our year to be the 8th seed and it's going to be a long slug through the season and then we get hot for a few weeks and then we're all dunking on the rest of the league after limping in at the last spot? I'm fine with that.
Come on, David. Carey, did he win you over?
Build a statue for Chris Armas.
He lost me again.
Then he ruined it.
A stained glass for Chris Armas?
I will be listening to David's section of this pod right before we do Keeping Currents, though, to calm me down.
Okay. Thad, what about the Comets? Did I look at this right? There's 2 games left?
2 games left. They won over the weekend, 8-5 over Baltimore, ending an 8-game winning streak for Baltimore. And they're sitting in 4th right now, but if they win their last 2 games, they finish 1st. So their destiny is in their hands. Not an easy task because it's both games against San Diego. So they can finish anywhere from 5th to 1st, depending on how they do in these last 2 games.
Does that mean San Diego is the first place team right now?
No, Baltimore is the one that they just beat. Actually, Baltimore lost again today.
So does that mean the Comets have one more game remaining, I guess, than the top team? Yeah. Okay. Wow. So they can still finish first. I didn't see that when I was looking. Okay.
San Diego, Comets, and St. Louis all have 2 games left. And there's 2 points difference between those 3 teams. Well, their top team has 1 game left and 40 points. Second place, same thing. 3rd, 4th, and 5th have 2 games left and 40 points, 38 points. So any one of those could finish pretty high. But it depends on how
5th is playoffs anyway, right?
Yep. 6th is playoffs, but they can't do anything but finish 6th. They're
okay.
stuck.
All right. So we got some playoff soccer this year. Not all loss. Comets keeping us in it.
Yep. They played good the last 2 games.
Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Robert, we kind of touched on it a little bit. There was a little bit of booing in the Sporting Kansas City game after that 4th goal. The stadium has been a little bit sparse this year. I think even on opening day, I was a little disappointed on that. We couldn't even muster a full stadium for that. But Jake Davis had a couple comments after this game about the fans and the home environment.
Yeah, I think they announced a crowd of 17,000 last night. Certainly didn't look like it.
No way.
But yeah, Jake, couple of things he had to say. He said, I just want to say to you, for the people, that today was unlucky. So the result doesn't reflect what we're doing here. We'll be better. But then he goes into and says, but I want to say that I walked out on the field today that looked like a Sporting KC game. The fans that showed up, the energy that was there. When we're losing, they're chanting our name. When we tied it, the crowd's going crazy. I just want to say the result is unlucky. We're going to need that support for the whole season. Every home game will be better. So we need you guys to show up because for me, I've been in the club for 9 years. And I went to my first Sporting game when I was 15. Sporting was at its height. Today reminded me of that first game. And I hope that every fan knows that we notice these things and we need that. I need that. The team needs that.
Oh, man. Love that from Jake. He's always a very genuine guy. Anytime he's speaking in the media, it feels very genuine and earnest. So love seeing that. Shout out to everybody that did go out there, spend some money, go watch the team.
Shout out to the few people that called me out for the podcast, saying that they were fans.
We got fans?
We do have fans. Some dad called my name and was like, "This is my son Grayson." Shout out Grayson. Big fan of the
Hi, Grayson.
podcast.
They're fans. How
They're
old is
fans.
Grayson?
Maybe 10. I'm sorry if that's younger than
Then should be listening to
Yeah.
Thad's profanity on this show.
Yeah, it's
Well-
totally only Thad who curses.
Yeah.
Did I use profanity today?
No.
No, but I did. Don't worry.
Oh shit.
Well, thank you, Grayson, for listening. Thank you, everyone else, for listening. We'll be here each week, whether they lose 4-1 or not. I don't know how much of optimist we'll be, but Robert, can you be an optimist?
I can be, but Cody, we're doing video for this one, right?
Of course.
Okay. All right. Well, I've got to
Thanks
do
to
something.
our sponsor, Core Outdoor Equipment.
Yes. Thank you. But I got to do something right here on video real quick.
Oh God.
Oh,
What's
God.
happening?
This is not one of those kind of videos.
Oh, he's switching the
Because-
scarves.
Oh, you are
Okay.
a wonderful man.
So David requested this shift in Robert's
Yes, he did.
scarves.
Yes.
He needed to see Brazil in the screen rather than
Vamos.
Argentina.
I'm gonna have to take my headphones off real quick. Do this though.
Okay, that's a great way to finish the audio podcast. Thad has now put on something of his own, but because
A
he uses a fake
1994 World Cup hat.
I hope you're happy, David. I hope you're happy.
96,
Robert, that
96
made my
inaugural season hat that because he uses that annoying fake background when he puts it on his head, you can't see it anyway. It's a cool Thad. Cool hat Thad.
When I can stop using the fake background, it'll show up better.
Did you get that? In what situation would you have acquired that hat? Did you have to buy that? Like you bought a hat that was like Major League Soccer inaugural season.
Okay,
kind
it
of
was
a lame hat if we're
96.
talking about-
I do not remember how I acquired the hat, but it's not the MLS logo, if you notice. It's not the actual logo that was used.
Well, I couldn't see it. You moved it away very quick, and because of your background, it was going away. I didn't see what it said.
I'll take a picture and send to you later.
Okay, it was a cool hat.
But it's old.
I hope you got it for free.
I do too.
Okay, do you have something prophetic for us before we leave, Thad?
You don't like it when I say nice things.
I like nice things. I
I
want
said-
prophetic.
Well, what is prophetic? I want to know what your definition of prophetic is.
Give us a prophecy.
When I said Sporting was going to make the playoffs, you said, "Oh, that's not prophetic." To me, that's prophetic.
That by
That was
definition would be prophetic.
Yeah.
That was prophetic.
So you want something prophetic? Our defense after the break will be way better.
All right. Way better, he said. That's optimistic. I like it. Sporting!